Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. I'm very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Hello, and welcome back to Big Mouth, and you can keep this and any other conversation I ignite going over on my Twitter at Movies TV Mad, on my Vero at Big Mouth 1, and the extension to this channel is my Instagram, Big Mouth. So welcome to this Doctor Who first look sneak peek, which was posted yesterday, right? Because I think Jodie Whittaker was on the BBC, right? I saw it this morning, but we're going to react to this together and see if we have any improvements to season 11. So let's go. I'm just looking for my control. Very unprofessional, of course, the way it should be. After all, we're YouTubers. We're not proper TV people. Let's do this.
She was found unconscious on the floor of an aeroplane washroom on the flight to Tokyo. She'd made pre-arranged contact with an informant.
Is she in a coma?
Apparently it's a little more horrific than that. Now, I'm told this is your expertise, dealing with the impossible.
You're right. That is impossible. Her DNA's been rewritten. Every strand corrupted and reshaped. She's no longer human. Just a shell with a human appearance.
Is she going to live, Doc?
There's nothing of her to live. It's like she's been erased. This is beyond any human technology.
I was rather worried you were going to say that. Doctor, the security of this entire planet is at stake. Can we rely upon you?
Of course you can. She's the Doctor. Of course you can rely upon her. I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. But you can still see when she's looking at the piece of paper and she's explaining it, she's not that Tennant Doctor. She's not that Eccleston Doctor. Not Matt Smith. Not Peter Capaldi. That instant knowledge. Oh my God, you know, that where you can kind of believe that she knows what she's talking about. It's not the problem is not her. It's not the acting, it's the script direction, and it's the direction itself on set. That's the problem. It's not as fast as Pacey. She just looks like an ordinary person just saying, like she knows stuff, but you don't believe she knows stuff. And this is the problem. And it seems to me that Chris Chibnall doesn't really understand who the Doctor is. This is not... You know, this is nothing to do with Jodie Whittaker being a female. This is nothing to do with Jodie Whittaker not being able to deliver her lines convincingly. It's about the guy writing it. And his script directions are totally wrong for Doctor Who in this point. I like the scene. I like what it's doing. It's a bit of a mystery. What's going on with the patient? Can we rely upon you, Doctor? Of course you can. That'll probably be her next words. So I enjoyed the scene. I'm grateful they... gave it to us, and it looks a little bit more interesting than last season at least, and there doesn't seem to be any male put-downs or anything like that, but they'll come. People like Chibnall just can't help themselves. But at the end of the day, it looks promising. I'm not going to judge a whole season on a first look sneak peek, of course, but what I would say about this is the problems there is in the scripting, within the writing and the directions of the script, because it's not punchy enough, it's not Doctor enough. That should be, oh my word, they've written her whole technology. No, let me say that again. Oh my word, they've rewritten all her DNA. How can this be possible? She's not human. Can you help her? How can I help her? She's just an empty shell now. She's just human, right? Punchy. So you get that, as I say, that Tennant, that Eccleston, that Smith, that Capaldi feel about it. Even the other guys who played the Doctor, right? And you just don't get that. Peter Davison would have delivered those lines really punchy and quickly, but she didn't, because in the script direction, she's direct. And this is the problem. It's not really, I'm mistaken. It's not really like he doesn't understand Doctor Who. It's the kind of doctor he wants her to be because she's a woman. The sexism actually is coming from Mr. Chibnall and not us, because he doesn't want her to be punchy. He doesn't want her to be arrogant. He doesn't want her to be flawed. And I've said this before in one of my Doctor Who videos, right? You can check it out on my homepage, that he doesn't want to flesh this character out. He doesn't want this character to have flaws, because to him, when you're representing a female, when you've got gender equality, you can't have the women being flawed. This is, of course, flawed thinking, by the way, no pun intended. So, unfortunately, I didn't like how the Doctor, how Jodie as the Doctor was delivering those lines, because basically, that's not who the Doctor is, no matter if it's man, woman, or beast. Those lines have got to be delivered punchy. You've got to believe the Doctor knows what they're talking about, and that's nothing to do with Jodie. But I am excited about season 12. I think it's going to be a much better season, a much more exciting season, because Chris Chibnall has now got to deliver. I think the BBC weren't going to stand there and take any more nonsense with him. They want Doctor Who to be Doctor Who. Doctor Who makes a lot of money for them. They weren't selling the merch, and the whole thing was problematic. And it became very divisive in the end, with some fans supporting Jodie in season 11, and some fans like me saying, after episode 3, it was just too mediocre and watered down. And I think that's what many of us feel, but fingers crossed. But this is my mission statement from now on what I'm going to say. If you're a fan of pre-Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who, if you're a fan of what came before New Who, if you're a fan of the RTD era, the Russell T Davies era, if you're a fan of the Stephen Moffat era, you are not ever going to get what those guys did with Doctor Who. It's all about politics now. It's all about representing this female doctor in a watered down way. If you love what RTD did, or you love what Moffat did, go to your cabinet like I do, or buy them on Prime Video and watch them and enjoy them, and don't bother with this, because if you're expecting those high standards from Chris Chibnall, you are never going to get them. That brings a sadness upon me that we will never get Doctor Who like that again, because the BBC are obsessed with their own ideology, and so is Chris Chibnall. But that's where we are. But because I know what to expect now, and I don't expect classic Doctor Who, pre-New Who Doctor Who, or RTD Doctor Who, or Moffat Doctor Who, I'm quite happy to watch this and say, do you know what? This is Chibnall. This is all he's willing to deliver. Hopefully I can enjoy them slightly a little bit, and I can still be a Doctor Who fan. I haven't embraced Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor yet, but that's nothing to do with her being a woman again. It took me till the last of the Time Lords to embrace David Tennant as the Doctor. It took me to the Snowmen to embrace Matt Smith as the Doctor. And I'm going to be honest with you here. I never ever embraced or saw Capaldi as the Doctor. That's not Capaldi's fault. He tried everything to reel me in. But at the end of the day, it was because once Stephen Moffat lost Matt Smith, his heart wasn't in it anymore. He had this big vision, this big arc for Matt's Doctor, and he left too soon. I still think Matt should come back. Matt's a great lad, one of my favourite Doctors. Eventually, I embraced him because it was so different to what RTD was doing. It was very difficult to embrace at first, but once the Snowmen happened, I was all in for his Doctor. Amazing stuff. But I hope that will happen. I hope I don't end up the same with Peter Capaldi, with Jodie Whittaker. Hopefully this season makes me totally embrace her as the Doctor. But it is a very, very watered down Doctor. It's a kind of Clark Kent Superman Doctor. There's no flaws there. One of the accusations, and Superman's my favourite character in fiction, right? One of the accusations against Superman, that he's too perfect, he's too dull. And you could label that accusation. I don't agree with that accusation against Superman, by the way. I'm just giving you a comparison. That bloody phone, just ignore it. But I'm just telling you that the Doctor isn't perfect. The Doctor is a contradiction within him or herself, right? So when you have a perfect Doctor, a Doctor that's not flawed, it's a big, big problem for the fans, because even if Chris Chibnall doesn't get it, we get it. We know who the Doctor is. Some of us have been following this character for 10, 20, 30, 40 years or whatever, right? So we know the Doctor's not perfect. He or she is not a pure-hearted hero. There's got to be irony. She's got to be funny. She's got to be flawed. And sometimes she's even got to be selfish. But because Chris Chibnall has a political agenda that doesn't see those things that way. He believes a female character should be represented as perfect, and it's the male characters who should be flawed around her. That's a problem. That's a problem for Doctor Who and the future of Doctor Who. Anyway, did you enjoy the video? Please comment down below, like the video, and please share the video as well and share the channel if you're enjoying what I'm doing here. And I'll be back with more Doctor Who videos. See you again soon.